Welcome to the Reddit library. What's not supposed to be scary but is? We need to talk with my mother is basically, do you have something to tell me? No. Are you sure about that? But when she used to say this, it was always a bad thing that I did, and I had the sensation that she would destroy my soul. Well, then you have to play her at her own game. Just ask, what have you heard? Never start listing off all the stupid stuff you've done, because you're just adding to your sentencing. Ah yes, the mom equivalent of, do you know why I pulled you over? Filling out government forms. I'm always afraid I'll get in trouble for signing off on a genuine mistake under penalty of perjury. When I was filing for citizenship, all the forms made me nauseous. I was convinced I was going to misspell something, and they would throw out my whole application. Sorry, Mr. Cupcake, you put today's date as April 5th, 2020. The correct date is the 4th of May 2020. You have to redo the entire app, pay the fee again, and your app goes to the bottom of the pile. Turning the downstairs light off before bed. I still book it up the stairs. When I do that legally, monsters are not allowed to go up the stairs at more than a standard walking pace, so it's a solid defense. When you're the first one at the table to order, and you don't know what you want. My wife's family is notorious for everyone sitting down and just shooting the crud while their menus go onto shade. Then the waiter comes over to take our order, and that's when they decide, oh yeah, I guess I'd better figure out what I want to eat, lol, and the waiter has to come back at least once, but most often twice, to finally get everyone at the table's order. It is so incredibly frustrating and embarrassing. Her father is also one of those people that likes to ask the waiter what they recommend. To this day, after almost a decade of dinners out with her family, I've still never seen him actually order something based on a waiter's recommendation. I just want to scream, Jesus duck, dude, we are at Ducking Olive Garden. Do you really think the cooks at Olive Garden are out perusing the local farmers market every morning to find the freshest things available for a custom menu like some Michelin-starred restaurant? Oh, the chili and sea base is exceptionally good today, sir. Caught fresh this morning and teleported from the coast right here to us in the upper Midwest. It's the same crud it was last time, and will be the same crud next time, and it's going to taste exactly the same as it ever did, because it's all pre-made and they're just throwing it in the microwave in the back. Juan doesn't have any ducking recommendations. Juan doesn't even duck and eat here probably. Juan is just going to try and pull some crud out of his, but to appease you, and you're not going to order it anyway, so why the duck do we always have to geo through this ship? At least with all this Tom Hanks sickness crud, I've got a temporary reprieve from that nonsense. The sound of the emergency broadcast system test, between the loud, awful noise and the robotic voice, I always just have to turn off the TV or radio until it's over. Duck that crud. As an older guy, I can tell you the first time I heard a voice come over the ebbs, I nearly had a heart attack, soiled myself, and fainted all within a nanosecond. Time slowed down, and that moment became a minute when all sorts of thoughts enter the mind, kinda like the Matrix. Why? Because in the 60s and 70s you were never supposed to hear a voice. The ebbs was only to be used when the end of things was upon you, the nooks were flying, and you only had minutes of life left. So better go hide under the bed and kiss your butt goodbye. Most scared I ever was. You never wanted to hear a voice. This was now the 90s, and some bureaucrat somewhere decided ebbs was more than just for nukes, but didn't tell the general public of this change. Turned out to be a high wind warning or some such a county over from mine. Scared the living hell out of me. I was rattled and jumpy all day after that. Your phone's front camera and microphone. I bought a phone with pop-up front camera at least twice since August 2019. While opening links to websites full of ads, Firefox opened my front camera. I quickly closed Firefox. Camera fell back inside the phone and I removed permissions. It happened again months later. The first time it scared the crud out of me, to be honest. I know their ASPI was able to activate front camera. I even know people were blackmailed with their own selfies. I just didn't expect to have my camera activated by a stupid website linked by a friend. I still don't like the microphone. I keep Google Assistant deactivated. and didn't give permissions to use microphone. I don't know how useful it is. Dolls, lots and lots of dolls. Fun fact, dolls were originally created to house the souls of the dead. Edit. I saw this on some ghost hunting show years ago, so I'm not sure how accurate it is, or which culture it's referring to. Obviously, it doesn't make sense that every culture invented dolls for this reason, but it likely does have some truth to it. When a normally non-bipedal animal walks on 2 feet, I had a dream once where someone was feeding a group of raccoons. I watched with a sense of complete dread as one snuck behind the person, took a few steps on its back legs, and then snapped the person's neck. After that dream, I can't watch any of those cute or funny videos of raccoons doing stuff on 2 feet. Thank you for giving me fuel for my nightmares. Calling someone you don't know on the phone. Calling someone and know that people in the office are listening to the call. Calling anyone with anything with anyone listening is unnerving for me. Driving next to a semi-truck, especially between a concrete barrier and a semi-truck. No, that's a very valid fear. If that truck moves over, your car is going to do a great impression of a pancake, and your bodily fluids will be the syrup. Death never tasted so good. The woods at night. My dog Sam went missing in the woods next to my cabin, but returned in 3 days, as if everything was normal. He didn't like going near those woods, which really frightened me. I now live in Texas. I misjudged the amount of daylight left on a mountain bike ride in a state park. Was still a mile out when the sun completely set. To add insult, my phone was at 10%. Turned it off, and spent the next hour in a pitch black forest by myself trying to get back. Hearing animals move through the leaves and the sounds of cracking branches was horrifying. Did really drive home that when your body and mind are in fight or flight mode, a lot of the fear is removed. The idea of hearing animals around me sounds scary, but the idea of complete silence sounds even more terrifying. Opening one of those containers for crescent roll dough and slowly unwrap the foil waiting for the whole thing to pop open. I hate it. I swear in the last 5 to 10 years the Pillsbury ones have been modified to not pop as you unwrap them, but it just opens up the can slightly and you have to stab the seam with something to get it to pop. Off-brand dough in a can still pops without warning. I actually like the anticipation as I peel off the wrapping. It's kind of like watching a screamer video. You know it's coming but not when. I was recently wondering if I've exaggerated the violence of these popping from my childhood memory, or if they've changed. Starting a new job is supposed to be a great and exciting day, but it usually just freaks you out. Getting introduced to a dozen people and you're so stressed you don't remember anyone's names, and then you don't remember them, and it's awkward to ask a month later, so you end up calling they hey you for the next 5 years. Furbies. Me and my friend bought Furbies together. Mine came with a mask that you can put on that makes him go to sleep. Hers doesn't have that. If she's too loud, then he'll wake up, and he'll just stay awake for like 10 minutes. It's terrifying. The ocean. This is a repost from one of my own old posts, but I think you might appreciate it. Once I was on a cruise in the Caribbean. We were on our way from the Bahamas to the US Virgin Islands. While the family was out enjoying themselves somewhere, I was sitting on one of the multiple lobbies, trying to find a comfortable position to read a book. There was a screen in the lobby, showing the ship's position, speed, and heading on a neat map. At the bottom of the screen there was a sonar readout indicating how deep the ocean floor was. At first it was fun to watch the moving map. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but it was something like 800 feet, 800 feet, 800 feet, 800 feet, 950 feet. I noticed the numbers getting larger. 1000, 0.1100, 1500, 0.2200, then all of a sudden it jumped to 8000, 0.8500, 11,000, 12,000. I looked out the huge glass doors in front of me, only ocean, as far as I could see, in every direction, including several miles of water down. For a moment, it was terrifying. I had to make a conscious effort to not look at the depth readout anymore. to peel myself from the couch and go look for my family. It still gives me the chills, and it's been more than 10 years. The dark. I mean, everything is just like the day, except you can't see, so you end up getting paranoid of what could be there, even in your own home. You're exactly right. No one is actually afraid of the dark, they're afraid of what's in it. That's not helping. I know it's gonna sound cliché, but clowns. I can't even remotely understand why anyone would love them or find them funny. They look like a mix of psycho killer, silly man and vicious sociopath with their scary pale emotionless faces, awful tainted hairs and disturbing smile. Even when making balloons they look like they're up to no good.